CIS playoff action here. We have transferred, as in me and Purge were upstairs on the secondary stream, but Chinese coverage is finished, so we have been upgraded. We are now down in the living room.
And this is now the NA table.
And this is now the NA table, as me and you are taking reign for caster, co-caster, and we have our European friends joining us for
foreign couch
analysis that they're going to provide on a game that they... Were you guys even watching? Have you been watching
I
the
watched
series?
I watched the last game.
Because it's been pretty interesting. Game 1, Spirit ran a very similar draft that we saw in Game 2. ESPADA maybe were outdrafted a bit, but they were still playing solid. Like, they were making Spirit work for it, considering that they felt like they didn't have the tools necessary. So we were just instantly like, okay, well, if ESPADA get a decent draft, certainly they're going to have everything they want. And that's pretty much how it felt in Game 2. So now the question is what is Spirit going to do in Game 3? Is their drafting going to match up, or is ESPADA somehow going to let it, slip away again and not have many tools?
Yeah. Does that happen to you often, Sind? Like where you'll do a draft and you'll win it, and then your opponents basically say like, you know what, we just need like one hero alteration and it'll be fine? Because that's basically what happened between Game 1 and Game 2, except that it was the opposite win.
I think sometimes you want to change very little. I think it really depends. You don't go into the next game and you're like, oh, we're just going to play the same stuff again. But if they invite you to do it by making a similar opening that your heroes are good against, you don't need to change a winning strategy unless it's not a winning strategy against what you're facing next. So
yeah, it was
sometimes it works,
like
sometimes it doesn't. Like people love to say, oh, you need to do a completely different opening, and others are like, why switch a winning strategy? And I think both points are fine. Just do what makes sense against your opponent's picks in the game.
Well, it was rough that game. Game 2 was very one-sided looking, and that's what happens when you're playing Viper from behind, I suppose.
So I did not watch game number 1. Did ESPADA have Pugna in the first game?
They did not. They picked a Lycan semi-early. I don't know if it was first phase, and they ended up laning Viper plus Skywrath mid versus Lycan. And the Skywrath ended up killing and trading better against the Disruptor, and then afterwards they just dumpstered the Lycan and hit a jungle. So it was like the game was flipped. And then late game it was a Leshrac carry instead of something like a Luna hard carry. So it was like late game CK, late game Viper, who are very farmed, versus a Lesh and a underfarmed Lycan. So it was like their cores matched up, their lanes matched up better, and then the Pugna just like basically screwed the Viper in the opposite of the match.
Yeah, Spirit had opened that first game with Skywrath Axe, and ESPADA just went right into Lycan, even though the Axe was like there, just like, oh, we want Lycan. So they went with that right away. And pretty much at that point, we saw Spirit do the CK, and ESPADA were just very reactionary at that point. So they went with Lesh, I guess, to like clear out the illusions. But then they were just kind of really nerfed with DPS. And at that point, Spirit were like, well, if we just neuter this, Wolf man, then they're not going to really have any problems for us. And they didn't.
I think going into this game 3, we're going to see a second phase Pugna ban. I think Nyx is very, very comfortable on that hero. It's a hero ESPADA have had great success with. I've seen him play twice for 2 wins. It's not the biggest sample size, but he's a big fan of the hero. I know he plays it a lot in the EU pubs as well. It's always nice when you have this kind of player who has like a specialty hero that not so many other teams like, or isn't that considered that strong in the patch. Then it's cool to be able to pull it. And I think Pugna is really underrated pick. So I'm happy to see it.
He's a puzzle piece for sure. It's like, and it worked out perfectly there, where it was like, we need someone who will win the lane and just push the game forward. And it was like just that perfect piece there.
We actually saw serenity qualify to TI with that hero just a moment ago. They had it in game number 3.
Yeah.
Yep. They used Pugna as well, and it worked great in that game.
I love the way Team Spirit drafts. They always have a lot of control, especially when they get the Axe. I'm still surprised that people don't ban Axe against them. They'll just love to run it. Either that or a
that last game didn't give them a good reason.
It was very hot and cold for his Axe showing. Game 1, it was great. But when Game 2, he was paired against that Luna tri-lane, there was just no chance
Was Shadow
for him.
Demon banned?
Shadow Demon was not even acknowledged. No. Bane was getting some attention, but not Shadow Demon.
I think might see Shadow Demon in game number 2.
Could be a pick for FNG.
Yeah.
He's good on
but they're picking their supports between their first 3 picks.
Yeah.
Both games.
Yeah. They got FNG as the Warlock. Yeah. And I think he was Warlock in the first game too, right?
No, he had Witch Doctor. That was the other difference. They had.
That's right.
That was the only hero different. Was that FNG played Witch Doctor first and Warlock second.
If this is a Luna series, Shadow Demon gets a bit more value. If it's a contested pick for the 2 teams, especially if they also like playing Chaos Knight. I think Chaos Knight with ST is actually pretty decent. It's not fantastic, but it's a strong killer lane.
It's not Phantasm, but it's fantastic, right?
You have a. You have the Soul Catcher, where the Chaos Knight's high damage output in lane. It's
mediocre damage output. Don't you dare say that CK has high damage output in lane. That's a damn lie.
Okay.
He has like good, disable, mediocre damage for a
No,
carry.
the thing is, he has. Okay, it's.
I
Hey,
was
Gabe.
like ready. I was like ready for production. I'm like, raise the draft, and then they show me Gabe, and I'm like, whatever. My powers are not working here. Nope, I don't want Gabe.
Hey, Gabe.
We have a
Hello.
draft. We're 3 bands in. I want to see that. There we go. I don't want to see Gabe.
Dude, think of the statues. This is the second one you've knocked over. Come on.
Sorry, bro.
Bloodseeker filler. Everybody filler.
See, Purge, the thing is, the reason you
Ooh.
think Chaos Knight has low damage output in lane is that you always roll the high stuns, and I always roll the low stuns. So I have high damage output.
Oh, that's true. What skill build do you go? Sylvan did
I
couple
think most
interesting
players,
things.
I would probably do the same. I think most go 1-4-1.
Yeah, that's
You
not what he
max-
did.
Max
He
reality
went
rate.
max stun.
Yeah.
Well, he would go like he went like 1-2-0, and then he went like 3-2-0, and then like the second game he went more reality. He also bought Midas both games. It was okay game 1, I thought, but game 2 I wasn't the biggest
Game
fan.
1, they were like, that was after they like crushed the Lycan in the mid lane like 2 times,
Yeah.
and then he's like, golden glove. It's like, I'm ready.
Illidan has some item and skill builds sometimes that I just don't agree with.
Yeah.
Like, I remember him doing this Scotty Drow a while back with
Aw.
when... I mean, nowadays it can be an okay item, but back then it was like...
He
kind
was
of
like the
ridiculous.
original
He does some weird things.
mid lane core
I
silencer
need to
player
drink
too. He was like the original core silencer mid lane player too for a long
Yeah.
time.
I
On
think-
old VP, old
I think,
VP.
I think that's why, as a player, I do like watching him because sometimes those item builds do make a ton of sense, and it's fun to have somebody figure it out. But then there's also games where it's like, oh, that's terrible. That's
He's hit or
kinda-
miss.
That's like the kind of player that I like trying to be.
Yeah,
and,
when it
you
looks
know,
good, you're a
a lot of time
genius.
it-
Yeah.
a lot of time
He's
it's bad.
less
CIS
Illidan.
Envy.
He's less Illidan than he was before. Like, he was making so many mistakes. He's more stable right now. So
Absolutely. Oi, look
Yeah,
at
look
that.
at this.
Got it.
So firstly, this is the first game where they didn't ban the bounty hunter and respect the bounty hunter against ESPADA. They put more respect into getting rid of Chen and then Naga, who was picked both previous games. So
Yes.
they're changing it up. They give him the bounty hunter, and then now look at that, Shadow Demon on cue.
And
I'm not
ESPADA
surprised
had
that they banned out all pretty much DK Phobos heroes. There's Panda, there's Axe, Night Stalker, so he's their playmaker. He makes a lot of space for the team, so no surprise there. Bounty Hunter, Lycan.
I think Immersion is the best bounty hunter player in CIS. He is very, very good at this hero. He
So-
plays it load in pubs, and I've seen him play it in competitive.
Would you
Great
say he's
player.
better than maybe next time?
Maybe next time it's not a CIS player. So
I didn't say he was. I'm just saying I want to compare him to his. I don't even know if I've seen.
I think they're
ESPADA
both.
play
I
bounty
think
hunter
they're
yet.
both very good, but I think they're good at different things.
Okay.
So it depends on what you need in the game. I think when it comes to like scouting and warding and just like
Courier sniping.
courier sniping, I would say M&T is probably better in those aspects, but I think Immersion might be better at playing the aggressive laning style and more of a pressure style bounty hunter. Probably.
Nice.
I would
All
say
right,
that.
I like that.
Bounty Lycan, 2 of those provide you a lot of vision, and I think Team Spirit is gonna have problems with the vision this game. Bounty Hunter pretty much scouts you all the time where you're placing the wards. With the Necro 3, they're gonna get rid of a lot of vision as well. On the other side, Team Spirit, good ganking setup. Shadow Demon into Sanking, always good to have. I remember a couple of their games like 2-3 months ago. This is their go-to if they want to go aggressive as well. They might. I'm not sure about the tri lane, but whenever I see this bounty hunter, I just feel like the laning stage for that team will be really weak.
Yeah, that's the reason the hero has fallen off. In this meta, it's a lot about 2-1-2 and having strong lanes, and Bounty is not very good at this. So that's his flat out just his biggest weakness. If you can overcome that, the game we saw of Immersion playing Bounty Hunter, I think 2 days ago on this stream as well, their laning stage didn't look too hot, but then they caught up. They got a couple of track kills and got the ball rolling, and they didn't look
Yeah,
back.
that's why they
So-
banned Disruptor.
Yes, they played Bounty
Yeah,
Disruptor.
pretty
like-
much Bounty and Disruptor won them the game. One just scouting for the vision with the track, glimpse back, set up way too many kills.
Yep. So one thing you got to be concerned about in this game, I don't know about this. It's actually it's good with Sand King and Leshrac. There's like 2 setups for him, so it's very good for their lineup. But I don't particularly like this Leshrac matchup into Lycan. I don't think it's a good matchup for Lesh. He's very fragile, low armor. If he has Pulse Nova running and kills the Necrobook, he kind of kills himself. Doesn't have a good way of killing the wolves because, well, he has Edict, which doesn't really kill the wolves if there's a whole army running at you. You can't really target it. So, in addition to that, I hate playing a hero like Shadow Demon against Lycan. Save heroes that need to save themselves because summons run at them feel really bad.
And there's another summon.
Yep. as another one.
This is, we're gonna group as 5 and fight from ESPADA, but they need a hero that has some kind of a control. Warlock and Bounty Hunter don't provide anything, so they need some low cooldown stun. Sanking already picked, Axe is out of the game.
Yeah, there's not that many good options left, actually. I don't really like the support duo in general.
No.
I think Warlock Bounty don't play Dota the same way. But
Maybe they're just more concerned with laning stage, I suppose. Try to
Yeah.
offset damage with heals.
yeah, you have to look at the balance of, like, it's all great if you have heroes that synergize, but if you don't even get through the lanes and get to that stage, it won't be good.
But
They
their-
would have picked Disruptor if they
Their
could.
rundown is super good right now, though. It's really, really good. Like, Spirit can't deal with, like, Lycan ulti with Necros and a Golem dropping. Like, they're just not going to be able to deal with that well. So there's at least that advantage that they can try to leverage.
Yep, I agree. What low cooldown stuns can they actually get? What's left?
Not too
Offlane
many.
Sven.
Maybe a
Slardar?
yeah.
Slardar.
Yeah, Slardar could work.
Yes.
Team Spirit needs a hero that's not afraid to man fight Lycan. Maybe Troll is a good pick here. As you mentioned, Leshrac,
like
low armor. When Lycan goes in and you have track on yourself, these 3 heroes are probably just gonna run away. Shadow Demon ulti doesn't do anything to Lycan.
And they have so many stuns, too, on Spirit's side that even having a Troll wouldn't be that bad. Because then he wouldn't need to worry about being disabled himself. They have no stuns on the enemy
I'd
team.
rather have them pick Sven, honestly.
Okay, so
Luna, Shadow Demon.
Yeah,
course.
classic stuff. That is another matchup that is... This one is a bit different when it comes to Lycan, because I think if Luna is 1 item ahead, she can actually just clean up Lycan's army really fast, and then it's only really the hero that you're fighting. You add in the extra Luna illusions from Shadow Demon, and you have yourself a pretty solid fight. Now, the downside is... I think Fatal Bonds is actually really good against this style. Warlock used to be a counter pick to SD Luna.
yeah.
Make all those illus, you bond them all together, and you actually kill the main Luna almost by breaking the illusions. So, gotta be a bit careful with that if you're Team Spirit.
I think they need something else, some more AoE.
Gyro?
Could be Gyro, could be maybe a
playing
Legion
mid
Commander is
Lycan.
not that bad. Not too great against the Shadow Demon, but with Overwhelming Gods they have a lot of burst damage for those illusions.
This is actually a really tough pick, I think. I don't really like the Gyro. I feel like they need to have fight, but their lanes are going to be pretty damn weak.
Is Tinker really far-fetched for a game like this of your ESPADA? I think it got a ban in one of the older games.
The last phase, yeah.
Could
But-
synergize with
Not
Bounty
a bad
Hunter.
idea.
Okay, so that's
another
kind of low cooldown.
somewhat low cooldown catch. Yeah.
And it also can help prevent them from running away in the right moments.
Yeah,
I
more
think it's good.
chase.
We've seen this pairing have good success in the CIS qualifiers. Clock Warlock, you hook shot in, force the fight to happen, the enemy counter engages, then you golem and bonds
Yeah.
them, and you take the team fight that way. It's a good way to start the fights. Now, what will likely happen this game is that the Sand King is not a catch for Clock, you can just stun out, and I think Luna will buy a Pike. So Leshrac is your best target, probably on Clockwork.
It is, though, then an off-lane clock, which does tend to get frowned upon recently in some of these panels. And with a Bounty Hunter, it means he's likely on his own, right? Is he going to be struggling a bit?
There's 2 ways of looking at it, right? Clockwork will have a hard time, but at the same time, at least he will get something alone, because he can just cog the waves and get experience.
It's true.
If Bounty Hunter is weak and can't really help the offlaner, at least get someone who can get something done alone. But I'm with you. I think that ESPADA laning it looks really weak to me right
Yeah.
now. I'm actually concerned about their mid game even getting there. There's a Tinker ban though. I think that would have been a cool pick if they grabbed it in the clock slot instead.
Well, I got settled for something else now.
Yeah, what do you even go here? They don't even have last pick. It generally feels very bad if you're first pick and you don't feel like you've won the
You just
draft.
gotta settle
but
with
this
Lena
is a good,
or something?
good Ember game for
Oh, Ember.
Team Spirit. Like they have 0 control for Ember.
Yeah,
Oh.
there are lots of great picks for Spirit. I'm not really concerned about Spirit's draft. I'm sure they're going to round it up nicely. I want to know what ESPADA should get here, because I'm not seeing the pick that solves this. Maybe Pugna? They can run it again and just commit. They're like, okay, guys,
We're all in.
we need to all in team fight 5-man. We have Pugna against Leshrac. We can take towers. Perhaps that's what they're
then
going to
you-
do.
Then you just have to think if there's a final pick for Spirit that would just ruin the soul of a Pugna at that point. But I do agree, it's something to help with the illusions, and it just adds into their super rush strat.
So what we don't know yet is what role Leshrac is. The way Spirit have opened their draft is very flexible. Shadow Demon is 5. Lesh and Sand King can both be 3. and 4, and Lesh can also be mid, and they can get another 3 or 4 to go with the same.
Does
kit.
G
It's
play a
very
lot of Lesh?
flexible. He plays it.
Yeah.
He does?
Yeah, he does play it. I don't know if he plays it a lot, but he definitely plays it.
It's not that different from Lina anyways, right? Just a little bit. Just more AoE,
Yeah.
less ganky, but kind of similar.
You need to have a slightly better feeling of the limits of your hero in terms of
True.
tanking, because you are committing more into the fight with Lesh.
That's
But
true.
I mean, these players play their heroes a lot, so surely. The thing I'm debating is if you actually want to put this Lesh mid if you're given the choice. If it's a good enough Lesh game to put him 2, or if you're just settling, you're like, okay, we can put him 4 or 3, give him less priority and get a better pick that fares better in the game. Because like you were saying, there's almost no catch on ESPADA, so why not get one of those super mobile heroes like Ember that Lacoste mentioned and just build the lineup around him instead?
It seems fine to me, like because they don't have very good catch other than Clockwork. Like that's the only weakness, is that he would be super clock vulnerable if he was a support. But I feel like if it's sanking Lesh in a lane, they can punish bounty rotations,
There you go.
Oh, nice call.
stuff like that. So yeah.
All right, now that the Pugna's already out there and ESPADA are pretty much saying that we're going to go all in, what's the best option here for Spirit? And is it going to be a mid lane grab, or if they're just going to put the Lesh mid
I'd
instead?
put Lesh 4. I think now the deck is stacked against a position 2 Lesh rack. Yeah. Oh, that is really good. Oh my god.
The Brood versus a Lycan +1.
Oh.
Tenth
only
big brood, huh?
Only hero that does AoE is Pugnablast and Rocket Flare.
Yeah.
The
That
way-
ain't good.
So, Brood used to be this only last pick hero, which it kind of still is, but it was very polarizing as a last pick. It's like, oh, this is the perfect Brood game over. Or, oh, this was not a good Brood pick, it's gonna suffer. But in this game, there's nobody that kills spiders. There's actually 0 ways of killing them. That is what makes for a good Brood game. It's less punishing now anyway to have your spiders die, but it's still the hero. The hero is the spiders, and you
So
can't kill them.
How are the spiders are different now? They have more HP, less armor,
They have 0 armor.
less magic resistance.
They have
Is that right?
50% magic resistance still. I think they have the same magic resistance, no armor, and lower bounty. I think that was the change.
The HP
they have
didn't
more
get
health?
changed. I feel like the health went up. I can check though.
It might have gone up by a little bit. It's possible.
Even with the
I-
changes, it's still a really, really good Brood Mother game, and I think Team Spirit is gonna take this home pretty easy.
I'd give them, I don't know, just based on draft, 90 to 95% chance of winning this game.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. I don't know, though.
really
Based
big.
on the first game, I would give ESPADA more credit. They seem to be a team that can really make the most out of even being, outdrafted. So while I would agree that on paper, I think Spirit have the much better matchup, in that Brood Mother pickup does definitely feel like the Achilles heel.
Okay.
But I feel like ESPADA, they'll try their best to make it work as it
Yeah,
is.
I'm sure they'll do well. So they reduce the damage of the spider slightly. They cut the armor to 0, and they jump the bounty really low. And then in the most recent patch, they buff their HP by 30, and the hero has more base strength, and you can cast spawn spiderlings a little bit better. So it's slightly better against magic resistance or magic nukes. So they're gonna have a good time against the spiders probably.
Let me see. Oh, there they are. Oh my god, look at all those changes.
Spiders have been adjusted, but Brood itself is pretty.
They
much
still
the same.
have, my god, my voice. They have 50% magic resistance, right?
Yes, I think that's
So
right.
280 health on the spiderlings.
Yep.
They're not dying.
Yeah,
They're
they're not dying.
actually just not dying.
And even if they do kill them, it doesn't matter because they're like
the reward is super
5 bounty or something like that.
Yeah.
9 for the spiderlings and 3 for the spiderites.
So since this is a DK Phobos Brood, there's 2 ways of playing Brood in this patch the way I see it. The one is you prioritize your hero and you try to scale. You use your spiders as a tool to control the map, to farm, and then you make your hero really strong. And the other one is actually the spiderling build, which I've seen a couple of times in pubs. If you check Broodmother's talents, you can build it in a totally different way where you go, you get the health talent, then you get XP gain, and then you go spiderlings attack damage and spiders health. And then you get auras. So you get like Vlad's, Pipe,
Seems
and then you
really
just push.
good this game.
I think that build in this game is going to flat out just win the game almost alone. If he goes the Aura build, I'm so down with it. Especially on a
Yeah.
DK Phobos Brood, who's more of a utility player. I think that's the route he should take, and let Illidan be the carry on Luna. They don't need both of them.
That
together.
25 perk's insane. 350 spiders health.
It's
and
insanely
that's
good.
doubled against magic damage.
Yeah.
So that's like 700 damage. There's 700 more health on his spiders.
Yeah.
Both of them. That's pretty incredible.
Yep.
Could really work out.
I
And-
really, really hope. I hate Brood, but I really hope he goes for that talent build just so we get to see it played.
Yeah. The only way they could deal with that really is if they go like Battle Fury Lycan or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think Maelstrom is the way. Like,
you have a Battle Fury Lycan.
hey, it's.
But you're not wrong. Like, I don't see another solution. This is a trump pick for me. I'm very, very biased toward the Radiant draft for that reason. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
the Brood definitely looks fantastic this game. So he's very likely, well, at least he's putting a net down mid to make them think that that's going to be the starting position. We'll see if they play some trickery here. Bounty trying to spot out his enemy lanes, and he does see a Luna and a Sand King in the top lanes, so may change things. Yep, Clock's headed top. He's going to lane against that, and both teams going to send their carries to the off lane, it seems. FNG does spot the Bounty briefly, but...
So this lane matchup, if we do end up getting these lanes with Brood against Warlock Lycan, the way this lane is going to go is that Warlock Lycan will be winning until Brood is level 3, and when Brood starts building a Spider Army, they need to evacuate. I'm not sure who you put on the Spiderling duty in the end. We have an even Bounty Rune trade, so no change in relative net worth. I'm honestly just curious what ESPADA are going to do. I personally don't see the solution, but you have to try something, and somebody has to stand against this Brood. If they're going to try to go some sort of Vanguard build on Lycan or whatever, and he just stands and tanks the lane forever and farms that way, he's still going to lose his towers, but he won't die to the Brood. Maybe Clockwork can be given some priority. Maybe he goes Vanguard, Crimson Guard, and just plays them. They're going to actually trialing the Brood from the beginning here.
I mean, that's basically all they can do, right? But if they don't get a lot of lane pressure out of this, it's going to be a bad time. And that was actually a Radiant Sentry Ward here, so yeah, he sees the Bounty. We'll see if they should be able to deward this if they realize, but yeah, Bounty's just going to leave.
It'd be nice for ESPADA if they can somehow get the upper hand and, I don't know, severely cripple this Broodmother before she can just coast into level 3 territory, but lane's moving forward, she's not too threatened. Bounty Hunter's like, I don't even want to be a part of this anymore.
And on the other side of the map, they did a really good job making sure that they power denied, and as a result, now Clock's going to be under tower. He got half a level, and that's it. Power deny, Luna pulls it back to the creep wave, and now he's going to keep creep equilibrium there, and now Clock doesn't get a lane.
I would love to see Sand King go mid. I think he can already look for a rotation play. This top lane is won already. They don't need to shut down Clockwork this hard. They're kind of, you see, they're just AFK with 2 heroes. I think one of them is definitely able to do something more meaningful. Pressuring the Pugna mid is great. Sand King Lesh is a combination that can kill Pugna from pretty much full HP.
Yeah.
So. The only big danger, though, is then that opens up Bounty Hunter being more viable is the problem. But maybe that's okay to pass up. Level 2 now in Shadow Demon, so yeah, Sand King's going to move around.
Is he bound to anything anymore? Oh, the wave died, right? He's fine.
It's all good there. And it looks like the Sand King may be heeding your advice. He's waiting for that 2-minute rune first. And then it will go bottom.
Interesting.
He has a self. That's actually really needed for a Brood. Because Brood was completely out of regen there, so that gets Brood back in the lane instantly.
Be more like Sand King pub players. Be the support. Do what your team needs.
He had 2 tangos and a self there, actually. It's crazy.
This is good damage.
And Bounty Hunter, though, is definitely getting the mileage in going between this mid and bottom lane. Ooh. Keeping Spirit guessing what's happening where, but it's the Luna who gets the kill. Sorry, taking down BZZ there in the top lane.
That was very close for G.
Just got the upper hand there on that Clockwork. No Sand King even necessary for that.
It's like that moment of weakness where you're like, I think I can finally get experience dead.
That was one of those nature as metal moments where a spider just jumps out of a wolf. Just got infested.
Spiders gotta eat, dude. I mean, on the bright side with the nerf to damage for the spiders, the Stout Shield, if it does proc, is going to stop pretty much all the damage, so they're not going to be as good at harassing melee heroes, but these like Warlocks, he's the one that has to worry.
Yeah. Bounty also innately high armor, so that's kind of nice. And ESPADA's doing a great job in mid. That is an absolute beatdown. Of course, Bounty Hunter has helped out a little bit, but despite that, Nyx is doing extra well, I could say. 17-9 against 10-1. A lot of good denies there. Bounty TP, he's went base.
But Brood's still holding on. She's got her level 3 now. It's time for her to get into motion here. 17, 18 now CS for the Lycan is making the most of this timing window before the lane does get taken over. Top lane.
Nice.
Nice block in with the help of that disruption means that Clockwork ain't going anywhere.
Don't forget about that tree. That tree helped a little bit.
That's true. That's true. Mother Nature, thank you so much for that one. High five your way.
Clock actually had a
Nature's Huddle.
tango. He didn't use it. I don't think he could get out. I think they still had him cornered if they moved a little bit.
I mean, yeah, he's
That was a great
probably
play, though.
dead.
Very nice from FNG.
I don't even think he cares about this. It's like, you can fight me. Well, okay. I maybe would have disrupted myself a little earlier there, I guess, but it's fine.
The clock illusions might be a bit stronger, stat-wise.
It's really, they deal slightly less damage. Shadow Demon probably is comparable. He has more agility. It's probably better to disrupt yourself, save the battery assault damage. I guess them being melee's in some ways better, but in some ways worse. I just think that was the best trade that Clock. That's like the best thing that's ever happened to Clock this game, without a doubt.
What a game.
Was a favorable trade in regen. So
It's got to get better from here.
Okay, so he might get the bounty rental, so he's gonna have to go for the disruption. Smart way he's playing it here.
Nice.
Oh,
we'll get it.
Got it. Even though the bounty hunter was right there, now Illidan rotates over.
FNG is making some good moves here.
Yeah.
This is very well played from him.
Bounty will take the other bounty
2 for 2.
rune, but ultimately decent.
You're generally happy trading evenly on bounty runes when you're playing against an Invis hero early game, because there's always that risk that they steal one of yours and you get an unfavorable trade. So if you take 2 for 2 against bounty hunter, that's fine. That's part of the hero. If you don't even get a benefit out of that, then good for
Wyver
Spirit.
waiting for the slowest spider in the entire universe, trying to get to the shrine slowly. Eventually he'll be there.
There we go.
Got it. It's got a soul ring on the way as well. Working on a medallion afterwards, so it's fairly standard, looks like.
Yep.
Transition to Ancientine later.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's at level 4. Oh, and he's been getting last hits this whole time with his little babies.
And that's the thing to keep in mind about the armor nerf to spiders, is that it's harder to farm ancients because they actually start hurting the spiders a lot now. They went from 8 armor to 0.
And the black dragons do splash damage, I believe.
Yes, they do.
Not cleave, therefore armor actually matters. That's a big deal.
You can place your spiders in a way such that the brunt of the army is behind the big black dragon and the guy that he's hitting is in front of him. Then I think the splash doesn't reach. But it's like extra effort. It's more taxing to do extra things all the time. So
I think he can handle it considering how easy the matchups are. He doesn't have to think too much this game already.
switch your brain off and use your spiders. Let's go.
Picks up level 5 now, so now he's got stupid good regen, and they're going to lane the Pugna against him, which they basically have to do. They'd prefer to keep him mid. But got to deal with them spiders, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're gonna... So what level is Lycan? He's gone from a side lane to mid now, so he should be out-leveled by G.
5. Yep.
5, almost 6,
Pretty
and
close.
G is 6.
Barely.
Oh, that's not that bad. I actually thought this was going to be worse for LTW. That's fine. He can play this lane. His wolves are immortal against Lesh, so that's nice.
Got the bounty in position as well. Prepping to go in.
Here he comes.
Ward is not going to spot him. Sentry may have spot his rotation, but
There's no threat. There's no shapeshift. They can't kill.
it is close though, right? Yeah, he just
Yeah.
gets 6 now. Pops the clarity into his inventory. He's getting ready to dive this.
New invis set for the bounty hunter. Can they somehow make this happen in time? There's no TP on FNG at the moment.
he's
Oh, he
ready to
just
go
bought
now.
one. He just bought one. So he could rotate in if he needs help.
Just got enough.
And
mana.
they're going to go. There's FNG. Tops the sun. Immediate disruption.
Not even close. I actually think he didn't even need to TP.
And they'll be able to fend him off. Really, not too much effort on that one. ESPADA certainly going to be struggling this laning phase as they begin to look for openings now. It's not getting any easier. You see Spider.
Oh!
Damn. That Decrepify burst combo. It's just 4-2, but
Wow. Right clicking is so much better against spiders now.
That's the big difference, though. This would feel so much worse in the last patch, what just happened, where you lost like 6 spiders. It's like, they used to give, what was it, 20 experience or something, and now they give 5. Something ridiculous like
31 to 9 for the spiderlings, the main ones, and the spiderites were 20 to 3.
Yeah.
So
it's extreme fallout.
But it
fall
kind of had to happen because it created this environment where Brood just never wanted to lose spiders, so he just played ultra careful all the time. And it was just kind of like, it's one of those annoying play styles, I dare say. At least this way they can kill the spiders with right clicks.
yeah.
The AoE is still going to be an issue, but at least they don't.
Or extremely noob broods would feed their spiders away and your teammates get all pissed.
Yes.
Now it's not as bad. Anyways, in the meantime, BZZ goes down top lane.
The other thing about that Spiderling change is that it opened up for a new subset of heroes to actually lane against Brood. Like, a hero like Monkey King would will
AoE
start
stun.
doing very well against Brood. Just have, if you max your first spell, the spiders just die in a boundless. There should be some other examples of heroes. That one just comes to mind.
Disruption on clock on the top lane. This is kind of bad for him.
Looks like they may get
Not
a
enough mana, though.
back.
Did he TP up here?
I think so.
This is not good. He should be
Oh,
dying
he's
here.
dead. Yeah, they're gonna. Oh no! What?
They're gonna.
They didn't click on him.
They're,
I guess.
They don't have enough mana is the problem. Luna's opted to skip the Aquila, surprisingly, but went Treads Mask of Death instead, or Morbid Mask.
He's just quietly battery assaulting away up here. What's happening? He's trying to kill the trees with battery assault. If they knew he was there still, they would definitely kill him. They probably think he got out or that help is coming.
Oh, they're going to stun Saturday
Oh,
just
nice. Nice creep.
Golem MVP.
barely. What a gimme. He's got to feel good about that one. That's like a kill that should never happen without like an ult, but
Freebie.
lucky there.
Uh-oh. Looks like they may get their own, though, on the bottom lane. Nyx, body blocked. Fiverr, you want to body block me? I'll suck ya.
What a threat.
Got him.
So one of the downsides of their tri lane going small, I've experienced this before. You're like, guys, I don't need you in this tri lane. Go do something else. And you're like, okay, I'm roaming now. Fun.
Fiverr comes in, waits.
stun.
Stun, stop the Lycan, hopefully.
I think he's
Ooh,
still
he's
there.
going to kill him. These wolves are fast.
Okay, that's a couple forgiving kills here. G will get a response, it looks like, taking out and finishing off the Warlock, and possibly...
His team
It seems
knew.
like, no, dude, he went that way.
Yeah. He was
And
trying
he
to
was
next
right.
level play it, but yeah, Immersion went for the normal level play.
He
and it worked.
next level played him, going with the obvious route.
There's no way for us to see how many CS are spiders, right? There's like nowhere you can see that at all.
Well, if we had Layer 3.
Lay Earth. I would actually really like to know how many of Nyx's CS are spiderlings because it can quickly get a bit deceptive with the CS amounts.
See that spider get decrypt just now? Watch out, dude. Actually, they're still okay. They're still doing some decent damage. Oh no, they've been fatal bonded.
Run.
Phobos' army is not that big right now. If it's really big, Pugna can't do anything. But for now they're holding up pretty well, the Dire. I think they're doing a good job.
They have a chaotic. Do they want to use it?
That's
on
a dead
Brew?
hero bottom.
See ya.
They got him.
G's coming
FNG
in.
quickly handled.
Oh.
Swing and a miss. But they do get a connection with the chaotic offering. They pincer in
He's
onto
gonna
G.
die.
They'll get him down as well. All right, I'm seeing like, you know,
Good stuff.
good string of kills coming together for ESPADA. Got
I mean,
him.
if that hook shot landed, it would have been even more ugly. But boy, that was a tough fight. I think G actually just had to not let himself get cogged there. It looked like he should fall up on the Pugna, but he actually just needed to run south and get out of there. But the Golem set it up just enough time. And G tried to go for the lightning into stun that would have probably gotten Pugna killed, and didn't happen.
This is going a lot better for Dire than I thought it would. This is a great start. Lycan and Pugna just took towers at the same time, the mid and the enemy safe lane tower, minute 12. Brood still hasn't pressured the tower. They've lost their top tier 1, but this is about as good of an early game as you can hope for ESPADA. So this was what needed to happen. They actually kind of won the laning stage with a bounty hunter and an uncountered Brood. So now they need to ride the momentum here. Get level 6 on bounty hunter, look for track kills, and keep Brood from getting into the game. That should be the goal here.
Jump in, BZZ, with the assistance
have
of
disruption.
Inversion's able to scot things out. And you're right, they just used that disruption onto Illidan in the mid lane, so he doesn't have that save available. And now the Wolfman's running in, looking to go for any sort of clear. The Fatal Bonds are still there. If they can put a lot of focus onto Illidan, they may be able to get to both of them.
Nice stun.
He's trying to
He
stun
might
them
still
back
die.
and
He's
keep
still
them
dead.
off. Oh, they do it. They do manage to get him down. And
Oh,
the
the
Wolfman
double.
gets it. It's a double kill for Fatal Bonds. Oh my
Oh,
god.
it's not over.
Things go from good to great.
I love that you call Warlock Fatal Bonds. It's
Did I call
basically, it's a double kill for Fatal Bonds.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
is very-
Warlock wasn't there.
It kind of
His
is the
Fatal
hero,
Bonds was
right?
there.
That's
Someone-
basically,
Someone get this Lycan, or
that's what he is.
Fiverr's? All right, now he's got to fight him. This is a weird dance here.
Yeah, Lycan's still in the base.
Nobody can go. I guess Brood coming is not worth it. And okay, let's just
now
respawn.
they gotta
Here
do
comes
it.
Cestus.
Yeah.
Clipped him on the edge.
I think he's got to disrupt him.
Give
too.
this kill to Lesh. He needs it.
Oh, the jukes. Oh, no, dude.
no.
Are you serious?
All right,
Is he gonna
somebody
just
knows.
weasel
FNG
through the
knows.
trees
FNG
like that?
knows.
You gonna let him go?
He's
Oh dear.
His team's on the
SD
way.
doesn't have boots, dude. They have the ward now. He's gonna live. No way.
Oh my God, that man just got away
Oh
with.
man. I guess he should have
Hit
burrowed him
run.
a little
And now
bit
they're
more.
tipping FNG for not disrupting him. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I did not know there was a single tree escape in that tree clump, but man, him knowing about that absolutely saved his life.
That saved his life for sure.
And FNG
Is
knew
that
about
the
it,
Harriet
but-
Tubman thing that Lumi talks about? It looks like
I
it.
mean, that was huge. That was such a big win. He knew exactly where it was, but he just wasn't fast enough.
The
to
bigger
catch-
thing than him living there is the mental damage. That feels so bad.
Yeah.
They actually just rotated so many heroes over, didn't get it,
And they lost both cores.
no
in that
progress. Yeah.
Dive. That was their Luna and Lesh dying.
He generated a good full minute of space with that play. Sand King was stuck hunting him for a full minute, so no progress toward the Blink Dagger, no payout. He's so far away from the key item there. Well, the spiders are good at killing the Nether Ward. Wait, what? Does he have... Was that Veil Blast? Is that enough?
He does have a Veil and Aether Lens.
Wait, how does that kill the spiders? That only kills lings, not... Or spider rights, not the lings, right? Maybe he only had small ones left? I don't know.
Possibly.
I feel like they shouldn't die. Alright.
Here comes trouble. They stomp down Illidan FNG with the disruption. The follow-up, though, is going to be the Chaotic Offering connecting onto the two of them. FNG goes down. The Fatal Bonds are out. And that is just going to be the Wolfman chopping through all the remaining creatures. And then pressure onto the tier 2.
Man, Lycan is just running at people. It's actually just super working.
Yeah, I think you're happy with that overall outcome as Radiant, though. That was the Shapeshift, Necro Book, and Golem for a position 5 kill.
G barely made it out from the top lane
Pretty
as
low
well,
value.
it looked like.
I mean, it just feels like the Brood is just not very good so far. I mean, he was tri-laned, and he's not in like the mid lane, so it's harder to abuse things. But
That's the thing. Like, I was thinking about talking about that before the game started. I feel like Brood should go mid this game. When it's a great Brood game, I think you put it mid, prioritize it, and let it shine. They basically slowed him down. It's not like the other heroes were bad at side laning. Lesh Sand King side lane, lovely. Shadow Demon Luna, great too.
Ooh, doesn't get the
Oh,
burrow
no,
on.
no dust, no burrow.
Dire's middle tower is
Well, they did get the dust connection, it looks like, on the Bounty Hunter, but no follow-up. And now they're going to tag him with a track and run away.
So what they basically need to do is they need to pressure into this lane and get the Pugna kill, which seems like they tried to do there, but Bounty was there to break the smoke. He ends up keeping Pugna alive as a result, and Brood is still being pressured. Like, this is 16 minutes in, and Pugna was just in this lane, pressuring the tier 2. Like, Brood has essentially not been able to be Brood this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh! They blasted the hell out of him. He's able to come back, but the Shuriken toss will be enough for the finish. That's track gold money too. Killing spree. Another track laid out onto Biver. The rocket's there. Nyx is waiting. Blasts him again. He pops the wand. The hook shot's there. That's money.
Dude, they're playing so good. 95%
Sparta.
95%.
ESPADA.
So honestly, I think Spirit really dropped the ball by not putting Brood mid this game. I'm going to stand by that. I think that was a huge mistake.
Laning against Pugna, basically 1v1, make it easier for him to survive.
He will get a lot of levels, he will snowball so much faster, and their other side lanes are not bad.
Ooh.
Wow.
Like, this Bounty Hunter aggression won't even pressure their side lanes, right? Shadow Demon Luna or Sand King Lesh, which lane do you want to go to with Bounty? You're not going to do enough. But they kind of shot themselves in the foot with this Brood choice, putting it side lane.
They tipped Illidan.
They just
and
lost
had
the
money
game.
for buyback.
Oh,
It's
dear.
down.
Oh my.
Wow.
That is...
Lesh almost killed himself just now. He's about to cast his last spell. Another would have blown him up. That would have been
I like Espada, man.
super demoralizing.
Good.
They're so good.
They're good. They're good with whatever lineup they want to put themselves into.
I'm really surprised, though, because I think the Spirit... First of all, it's a great Brood pick. I know G plays Brood. DK Phobos plays Brood. They know how the hero works. They know what it needs. And they still choose to do this. I just really, really disagree with this laning choice. And I think, it's sometimes... It might sound like I'm oversimplifying things. And obviously, Espada are playing great. I'm not taking anything away from them. But this wouldn't be easy if they weren't playing this well. But Brood is such an extremely, polarizing hero in the game. It generally either has a great game or a really bad one. And this game, they didn't set it up for success. So.
We just saw an epicenter for a large camp.
Yeah, well,
I mean, if he's not even vaguely close to Blink, it's probably better to pop that, I guess, for the 600 AoE damage and the clarity.
That just says to me it's Strug City right now, though. Strug
Yeah.
City. They need to use Epi for farm.
The problem is they know their opponents are just going to 5-man Deathball now. They just took a mid-rax at 17 minutes. Their opponents are just stabilizing barely with a Leshrac Yules. Like, all of these heroes are just dying instantly is the problem. Like the Lycan kills that he got on the cores in the early game just messed up all the tempo for Spirit. It like killed so much hope of them getting a win out of this game because their cores rotated to defend and they still got killed.
Yeah.
It would have been better if they just like kept doing their own thing and got farmed.
Lycan is definitely my... Lycan and Pugna both have been playing an excellent game.
Yeah.
LTW, I think a lot of players would not play this aggressively, and he just seems to know his limits very, very well.
Here they come. Sieging away. Tier 3 already at half of its life. Same with G. Corlesh has to now fend back towards the base. But they just can't do anything.
This Nether Ward's a problem.
Watching their base crumble before them, and the second they step in, that's when the chaotic
bonds.
offering will be committed. The bonds are out. Everybody
God.
begins to crumble apart right now. Oh my lord, ESPADA are here. Moving on in, they blast apart the Sand King, forcing out
Wow.
the buyback. Luna has no buyback at all, and they are gone. Before 20 minutes, ESPADA take game number 3 and move on into the next round.
ESPADA is so good, actually. They're just so incredible. That was
They're
like 3
pretty
games
good.
where they played pretty much. It's like they can just look at the draft and they know exactly the way to win it, and they executed almost perfectly. Even the game they lost, they still played really well.
They made Spirit sweat so hard, even on that first game where they got incredibly outdrafted. So good stuff to them. We're back at the panel. Lacoste back at joining our side. I'm curious to hear your impressions about that game. You were also on the Broodmother bandwagon. Do you share syndereN's sympathy that it may have been best in the mid lane, or how could they have changed things up?
Well, that was quick. That's why syndereN doesn't work for GG bet. 90% you said.
I work under the condition that they, do the right things. So
Yeah. Well,
How extreme do you think it would have been if they put Brood mid? Like, compared to this?
way better because Brood would get at least some amount of farm, and she can always creep skip once she gets a couple of more levels into webs, so that would have been better. ESPADA did a good job just tri-laning against the Brood, then sending Lycan back to mid because Pugna would put way more pressure and they needed Lycan to farm, so I guess maybe the laning stage was not as good.
Okay.
I mean, if Luna also skipped Aquila, by the way. Like, he went Treads into Mask of Death. If he goes Aquila, like, I feel like he just overlooked the pushing power minimum of that. Because his lane was easy, right? And he's sitting there hitting towers. 2 more armor to creeps for a couple of waves in a row. Like, he would have done way more damage to the tower. And then with the tower open, then he would have been able to, like, hit creep jungles and laning creeps, maybe.
Also, big thing, his courier was killed. So
was
he
it?
couldn't get Mask of Madness off, so he was farming 3 minutes without Mask
Oh,
of Madness.
jeez. That's
yeah.
incredibly debilitating. No wonder he didn't
I think
have
that was
any
the one
big
curious
enough.
knife of the game.
Yeah,
That's the only one.
Who ended up getting that? The Bunny?
Yeah.
I think it was Bounty.
Wow.
It's the thing that I was saying about putting Brood mid in that game. I know I'm talking about it a lot, but I feel like it's the story of that game.
Yes.
That's just Brood. That's how it is. If you put the Brood mid and the enemy team, the reason I liked Spirit's draft so much is that I felt like there was no lane pressure going to be coming from the Dire if Brood is mid.
Yes.
Their 2 side lanes are Shadow Demon Luna and SK Lesh, and the other team has a Bounty Hunter. In the Shadow Demon Luna lane, you put a Sentry. Bounty can't play aggressively there. The other lane, he doesn't even have a play against SK Lesh. So I think Spirit could have won 3 lanes. And they ended up winning 1. They won their aggro tri-lane into Clockwork. They got crushed in the Brood lane, and they lost the mid lane handedly because they actually gave Bounty a game. He got to gank a hero that he could play against.
And their aggro tri-lane
So-
game with their Sanking. Because it was too successful that Sanking basically couldn't do anything.
Yep.
And then had to go try to find something, which is hard to catch up for. Like, Sanking is not a good support that is low level and has to catch up.
Well, sometimes you just mess up. Fortunately, that was not an elimination game.
Yeah. Yeah, good for them. It's millions and millions of dollars. They have one more opportunity to be able to stay alive. They are going
Millions
to.
of dollars. Sometimes you just mess up.
You don't want to mess up at times like this, though.
They can bounce back.
They can. They can. They have double dimension waiting for them now in that lower bracket. So Spirit will be facing up against them. That is not going to be our next matchup, though. As you can see, we are going to be staying in the upper bracket as we move forward. For now, Fly to Moon, a.k.a. what's their new name? Wind Strike? Something like that. Going against the ESPADA now next. So that
I
should
thought
be
it
a
was
hype matchup.
Bitcoin.
I mean, they had the Bitcoin. Apparently, their Flight of Moon logo just wasn't put into the game, so they settled for Bitcoin. And now they actually have a real team/sponsor. Wind Strike, I think it is. I could be saying
Are
it
you
wrong.
sure?
Something Strike. It's very new. New
Wind
enough
streak?
that Liquipedia isn't even there. Could be a win streak. We'll have to see. They're
You're sure you're not-
2-0, so they are technically on a
Okay.
win streak. But any early impressions about that matchup? I'll be honest with you. We were kind of rolling in during that first series, so I didn't get to see how Flight of Moon are playing today. But Spada are playing pretty damn good.
That's a good point. How they're playing today, because it varies, man. They can look as one of the strongest teams in the world, or they can just be sloppy and get beaten in 20 minutes.
Yep. You can have a good day and you can have a bad day. Oh boy, you can have a bad day. So I'm gonna take a break. When we come back, we'll get ready for more CIS playoff action here with Purge, Lacoste, and syndereN. I'm Dakota. Stay tuned.